So, welcome to all. We are back here after a long time. I am bringing you some sweets for you today, but the sweet is something different than the sweets that we used to be habituated. This sweets comes from our very important medicines, that is the capsicum. And you know that capsicum belongs to uh, a very chili, the common chili that you know. So nowadays we try to find out the sweetness in the pungency. And I don't think that nowadays we like the sweets. We usually ask something, some salty or some bitter thing, some pungent thing. So the word pungency is very important for us to understand, because in common use you usually try to speak as a pungent and bitterness. There is a great difference between the pungent and the bitterness. Bitterness it belongs to the like the that of the some from the neem. Neem bitterness. Neem is bitter, but the things that you have from the chili, it is called pungent. The bitterness of the chili is known as pungent, and so in the reporting you will find the pungent and pungent separate rubrics and bitter separate rubrics. Bitter stands for those things which are bitter in taste, like the Karela, bitter gourd, or the neem. It belongs to. Now, when we talk about the bitterness, when we talk about the chilliness, when we talk about the pungency, it is the mind comes to the jealousy. It's like a hot pepper. I used to it mildly, and you add a spice to the relationship. So, when you have too much bitter, if you have too much bitterness, the things becomes jealousy, and you will try to avoid it. But in a mild way, the chili is very good and good for your life also. So it is use it in such a way that it do not burn your life. Eating chili pepper is like riding on a roller coaster. So when you eat the chili things, you have both the pleasure and you have the danger also. You feel that something is there, fighting there, and you also feel that there is something, some pleasure. So two things is there: pungency and bitterness. Two stands together, and this is very important clue for prescribing our medicines capsicum. When you understand the relationship between the sweetness and pungency, you can prescribe the capsicum medicines in a better way. Because most of the time we use capsicum differently with the therapeutic basis, but for the purpose of prescribing as a homeopathic medicine, we have to understand the basic theme of the medicine. Chili pepper are eaten by a quarter of the earth. Now almost one fourth of the what Earth populations they are eating chili in every country around the globe. And it is now what is chili? We all have seen the chili plant, the mircha plant, that it is a perennial shrub belonging to the capsicum family. The whole family is capsicum. Lot of medicines are there, lot of the plants are there in the capsicum family. And it was only the Christopher. You may be remembering the Columbus, name of the Columbus, Christopher Columbus, who made this chili pepper known to the world in 1492. So it came worldwide when it was discovered by uh, uh, Columbus in 1492. We remember that Columbus discovered India also, but it was not actually India, it was something else. So, but Columbus name is associated with the chili. The chili pepper genus Capsicum is indigenous to the tropics, where archaeological records indicate that it has been cultivated and consumed as back at the 5000 BC. So very old history there. The word chili comes from the nautical family of languages spoken most by the Aztecs. One early Spanish translation of the word El Membro tantalizing. It has some kind of the like creaking type of the things happens on your tongue and that area. So, and that is called tantalizing effects of the chili. And so botanists believe that chili pepper originated in the southwest Brazil or south central Bolivia, but the 15th century birds and humans have spread it throughout the Central America and also in Asia. Now, Christopher Columbus on January 1493, the great explorer recorded in his diary his discovery on the Caribbean island of Hispaniola, the pepper which was the cool Indian used as a spice more abundant and more valuable than either the black or Melgeta pepper of that time. So it was a native place of the for the Indians, Indian not how we Indian, the Indian of the American country, and they were using the chili pepper earlier. From that place, capsicum is usual. Now, what the things about the initially it was not eaten like the as a spices or anything or vegetable substance. Initially, it was an ornamental jewelry. People used to make a garland or put in the as a earrings. It was used. So it was an ornamental purpose for many exotic things, and then unknown, but soon became the food. Afterwards, when they tasted the things, they found it very good pleasure was there, and they started eating the chili. So it is assumed that the monks of the royal monastery of Santa Maria de Gladwell in Spain were the first European to discover the taste of hot pepper and added them in their food. So everything starts from the monk, monastery, or from the temple. So this it came into the kitchen, our kitchen, only because of the monks who started using in their kitchen. Originally cultivated in monastery, seed were then spread throughout the Spain, Europe by travelers by the monks. So it was cultivated in the monastery, and later on it became the household word for the other areas. Capsicums are cultivated worldwide and used in many cuisines. Every type of the food it must contain chili, otherwise you don't have the taste. So without salt and without chili, you don't get the taste. Whenever you try to have any of the vegetables, and in our Indian culture also, we find that without chili we cannot survive. From Spain, chili spread to South Asia countries like India and China. Chili was introduced in China and spread further to Japan. Soon chili was accepted as important spices in the local cuisine. Now, what was the use of the medicinal value that was discovered? What we find, it is not the homeopathic way where we started using the capsicum in our medicine. It was known earlier, or it was being used as a traditional medicinal medicine. It was used for the nerve pain in the nerve with the diabetic neuropathy patients. The specific pain contained 0.075 capsicum. The alkaloids of the capsicum is known as capsine, and it was used for the nerve pain in the diabetic neuropathy. Then any type of the chronic pain. So applying the cream and lotions containing the capsine, it gives temporary relief to the chronic pain. Then the nerves causes the damage caused by singling. It is the first therapeutic neuralgia. Applying a patch containing 0.8% capsine, the active chemical in capsine reduces the pain over 24 hours in people with this condition. So it was basically used as a painkiller substance. So, and it is very natural. When you put that chili pepper in your mouth, you will forget the pain. Any type of the pain. If you are suppose you are suffering from headache and you put some chili pepper, you will forget about this pain. It is just the transformation of the pain sensation from getting transferred into your mouth. So it is just diverting. It is called the diverting the pain from the original place to the mouth place. So it was used like that. Then back pain. So it was applied on the fifth skin. Now many of the uh, substance which is used as a like the uh, uh, gel, pain gel, jelly are there, and there you will contain, it contains the capsin, cluster headache, like the migraine. So applying capsin chemical, then osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis, it is also very useful because the pain in the osteoarthritis is very severe, so you can get then acute pain also. The application of the capsule is very and it can reduce the trauma. Then when you have the rhinitis, perennial running nose, coryza, so when you apply, initially there will be aggression in the coryza and it will be followed by relief. So it is like the homeopathic action here also. Nausea and vomiting after surgery, applying a plaster containing capsule to a specific point on the hand and fore, fore, forearm causes reduces the nausea and vomiting after surgery. Then after surgery, applying a plaster containing capsule to a specific point on the hand and forearm reduces the need for the painkiller within 24 hours after the surgery. So in olden days, it was used as a painkiller medicine. Very important information that we have, and most of the time in homeopathy we are not using the capsicum as a painkiller medicine. Let us see what we can do with this substance. When taken in the mouth, capsicum is now, these are the side effects. I am talking about the side effects now. Capsicum is like when consumed in the large amount, the chemical, it creates the burning sensation and irritation in the stomach with the sweating and running nose. Capsicum is possibly unsafe to take in large dose for a longer time. If you take the capsicum, mircha, chili pepper, chili for a long time, it will cause the nausea, vomiting, and it will create the ulceration in your stomach. And when applied on the skin, the capsule, it is likely to create a erosion on your place, the place where it is, and it will very sensitive. Skin will become sensitive. And when it is applied on the nose, you just see when you put some chili on your nose, what happens. The problem starts right now there. So now, in how it came into homeopathy, now you will see that in Metra Medica Pura, Hahnemann wrote between 1811 and 1821, and here he proves the homeopathic this capsicum annum. There are many genus species of the capsicum family, like what we say the capsicum that the pot separate. Then there are red chili, then green chili, small chili, big chili, many things are there. But Dr. Hahnemann proved it on the capsicum annum, the species which is known as capsicum annum in between 1800 and 11. So it is about 10 years of proving records are there with the Dr. Hahnemann himself. So capsicum should be studied in connection with the other great members of the Solanum family. You know the Solanum family, it is a widespread, it is also known as the vegetable family because we have almost all vegetables that we use in our household kitchen. It belongs to the Solanum family, like Solanum nigrinum, Solanum tuberosum, potato, tomato, like all these are, so they belong to the same family. So when you compare the symptomatology of the Solanum, Solanum tuberosum and Hyoscyamus, Stramonium, belladonna, you will find some similarity because when you study the medicines in a group, you can get better understanding what symptoms are common in all the Solanum family. So this is very important lesson that has been mentioned here, and its action is very great intensity on the mucous membrane. Basically, also on the bones, affections, and bone in general. Pain in bone of faces, inflammation of petraceous bone, and then capsicum corresponds especially to person of light hair, blue eye, and also to person of the lax fiber and muscles, obesity, lazy fat, unclean persons, who breathe the open air, clumsy children, awkward persons, and hemorrhoids. So these are the constitutional area where which has been used most of the time and indicated. Then the important symptoms for the chili is the lack of reaction. Very important rubrics that you can get in the repertory. Reactions lack of in the genetic chapter it is, where the symptoms the patient is having the problem, but he is not able to explain you the sensation and uh, uh, modeling. So this is it is known as lack of reaction. Problem is there, but there is no reactions from the problem. The patient is suffering with the he is losing weight, he is having the problem, he is suffering, mind is not okay, but he is not unable to tell you what he is suffering from and what are the modeling. So this lack of reactions, when you have the large chili pepper in large doses, this type of the awkwardness symptoms arises in the mind, and this is important indication for all of the solenum chapter. And the dulcamara, there is extreme sensitivity to the cold. And the damp weather, and most of the symptoms get aggravated. But with the red chili, it indicates the burning pain. So extremeness is there. Sensitiveness and extremeness is everywhere. Sensitiveness is belongs to the quality of the solenum family. So it's the way area, like Dalcobra has sensitive to the cold, so chili has a sensitive to the pain. Burning of capsicum is aggravated from the cold water, redness of the skin, and even scarlet eruptions like belladonna. Very characteristics in cough, in fetid breath, and bad taste. Cough causes splitting pain in the head, chill feeling at 10:30 a.m. and beginning between the shoulder and the neck, running down behind. In mental state, there is no more striking symptom other than homesickness. The greatest uh, characteristics for the capsicums are the homesickness. They don't want to go out. They feel very awkward when they go out. Traveling is most difficult symptoms for them. So they try to remain back in the home. So homesickness. A sickness like homesickness runs through the remedy and is accompanied by red cheeks, sleeplessness, hot feeling, and impulses and the forgetfulness. Capsicum mind is almost overwhelmed by persistent thought of suicide. Now, another important indication which is the homesickness and the suicidal disputes. They think about the suicide. They think about committing and ending their life. But this commitment, they don't have the courage. They have the lack in the courage. Courage is not there. They will think only. So under the suicide chapter rubrics, there is a sub rubric suicidal thoughts. So you have to go into the different facets of the every rubric, and use of the sub rubrics is more important than using the head rubrics. The capsicum mind is overwhelmed by persisting thoughts of the suicide, and he does not want to kill himself. He wants that the death should come to him. He will not make attempt. He wants that the death should come to him. So he invites death, but he do not welcome death. So this is important. Some person lie awake at night and long for death. While lying, his death should come. They are waiting for the death should come, but there is no reason why they don't do it. It is like that insanity. Now, capsicum acts with a great intensity on the mucous membrane and also on the bones, affections of the bones, general pains in the bones, the faces inflammation. So the area of the infection action is on the mucous membrane, bone, and the inflammation of the petrous. So two major areas there: the mucous membrane and the bone. The capsicum individual is plump. Now it is like the bulky body is there and round and lacking stamina. He is in a sluggish and tired state and has a lazy constitution. The whole organism is sluggish. They don't have they are not fast. They are lazy persons, flabby and slow. This low vitality is due to the faulty assimilation. Now, why it is like that? Why low vitality? Why lack of recovery? They don't have the proper assimilations. They eat well, but they are not unable to assimilate them or digest them. This is important thing for that. Capsicum abdomen feels like a flabby sac with heavy intestine that drags him down. The capsicum flabbiness is rather unique, though it may be confused with that of the Calibacrum calcarea car and or Ferrum metallica. Now they are frightened persons. The person is, wakes up in the fright, screams, remains full of fear. It is noted by Margaret Tyler and is mortified with the terror. We see the peculiar expression, I want to be great midst of frightened with the symptoms, fear censored of being. That I will be censored, I will be accused, I will be punished. The policeman is coming. Someone will come and kill me. These are the type of the fears that you can see. And under these rubrics, you will find the capsicum in a prominent position. Now, there's the great homesickness, as I have told you, aversion to departure from the daily routine. They are not new. They cannot undertake the new things. The daily routine, going like a office worker, secretariat, going to the office at 10 o'clock, coming back at 5 p.m. in the. So this way, this is, and beyond that, they cannot go here and there. Elements from homesickness removal, and when the change is there, suppose they belong to a native place, and after the change of the place, the symptoms arise. Transfer from one place of the, there is a transferring job. So when the problem started with the transferation of the job, this type of the sleeplessness and other symptoms comes, the homesickness comes. It comes under the area of the homesickness. Then nostalgia. Totally, nostalgia means the mind absorbed in something. So where it is absorbed, it is in the past. It is in the past. They are not the people who think forward. They are not the people who think in the present. They think in the past world. Something was there in my life. So they keep on thinking about them. So dwells on the past, discoverable occurrences is the rubrics. Very important rubrics is there. Dwelling rubrics. Under the mind chapter, you will have the dwelling rubrics. Then hypersensitive, we have already noted. Easily offended person, inclined to jovial, yet angry and dirty. They want that people should be there, but they don't. They get offended. They want that something I should talk to you, but when you start talking, he will get offended. He will not like, but he wants. This is called the capricious mind. Capricious mind of capsicum, where what he wants that he dislikes it. What he wants, he dislikes it. This is capriciousness, and this is the hypersensitive. So fear of the slightest drop. Slightest drop means sudden changes, like the air temperature, hot weather and the cold weather, and the very fan running very in a high speed. They want the slow speed of the fan. What fear? Then sleeplessness and dispositions to suicide. The night is very terrible situations for the capsicum patients. If they feel suicidal dispositions are there, all night they wait for getting death. Whole night waiting for the death. So can you imagine a person lying on the bed and thinking about the death? And there are the persons of the sleeplessness. Many people will come. Doctor said, I don't get the sleep. I don't. What is happening? Why you are not getting? What do you think? No, I think that I will die. I will die. The patient, I will die. So, he will die. He will die. But he is dying every moment, but not dying. This is called the capricious aspect of the mind. And it is capricious. I have told you the mirth and hilarity alternating with the work of the individual. Very excited, very joyous, very happy, and immediately he will become sad, irritating, and angry. So this is called duality from like pendulum, mind moving like the pendulum. Then alternating moods, definitely this capriciousness will be represented into the alternating mood. If someone offers him something, he will refuse it, even though he may have wanted it earlier. Something was he wanted that I should have the water, and when the water was brought to him, no, I don't want to have the water. Then they are very chilly patients, clumsy, indolent, and fat, tendency to obesity, person with the red cheek. This is the facial expressions that you can get. Then they are aggravated in cold in general. This is important. They are very chilly patients, and all colds aggravate them. So chilly, and you just don't get confused with the word chilly and the chilly. Chili is a there are two types of chili. When you get the pungency in the mouth, that is also called chili, and when you feel chili, the coldness, that is also called chili. Then at the beginning of motions aggravate. Most of the time, you think about the Rastox, Naxvomica, etc. Naxvomica is also cold patient, and Rastox is also cold patient. But what is that there with the capsicum? The capsicum are sensitive and hypersensitive persons. So emulated by continuum motions affected parts and beginning to walk emulate walking. And relaxing certain muscles. Now the muscles is getting relaxed, loose, fiber are there. So this is the important things that we can think in this medicine. Then burning as from paper. Natural, very natural symptoms. Burning and smarting pain. All pains that burns like a mircha is known as the burn. Tip of the tongue, throat, stomach, stool, piles, prostate, not ameliorated by the heat. They want the cold applications. Pungent. This is important. Desire for pungent things and coffee, but coffee aggravates. They want chili, but and they can tolerate chili, but they cannot tolerate the coffee. Affection of the burning mucous membrane. This is important. The burning mucus. You see the some places here, the burning getting red area, and it is burning as if, and it is very peculiar for this medicine. Then lack of reactions, organism difficult to arouse, difficult to get the answers. When you are taking a patient with a lack of reaction, it is very difficult to collect the symptoms from them because they are not in a position to explain you why it is there and what are feelings are there. So it is called the lack of reaction. And chilly with the pain. The pain is like the burning. So this is chilly with the pain. And pain in distant part. He starts coughing and he starts feeling pain in the back. So when the things happen at one place, get reflected at the distant place. This is during cough, bladder, thigh, hips, knee, leg, ear, back, nape of the neck. The pain will be in the nape of the neck, in the back during cough. When some pain is in one part, like in appendicitis, most of the patients you might have seen the appendix is on the right side, but the pain is they start have the pain in the left side. And the doctor gets confused when they see the left side, they never think about the appendicitis. So, but when you see it minutely, you can understand that it is the reflex pain that is being transferred to this side. So, this is important indications for the reflex pain. Then there are some particular symptoms: red face, nose, cold to touch, red face children, of beer drinkers and paper eaters. Face is studded with the fine system of capillary shivering on drinking cold water, offensive breath during the cough, and chronic sore throats of a smoker and the drinker, and coldness between the soldiers' blood, and chronic suppressions of middle ear, involvement of mastoid very tender to death, and bewilderment of the head, intoxication as if from spirituous air. Now, the generalities are there: aching pain, cramps in the body, and symptoms generally appear on the left side. The symptoms you will see: the cramping pain, like this, just getting it like this, aching pain, something is throbbing like this, and the symptoms generally appearing on the left side of the body. These are the regions where the symptoms you will find: mucous membrane, throat, kidney, bone, mastoids, blood, and the left side of the body. And mortality aggravated by the slightest draft, cold air, uncovering dampness, bathing, heat, empty swelling, drinking after eating, drunkards, evening beginning to move open and left side, and better continued motions, eat while eating. So these are the modalities that generally modalities can be applied on the particular area also. And the patients like have the desire for alcohol, paper, coffee, cold drinks, stimulant, highly seasoned food. Highly seasoned food means it is like the pickles, which has been cooked for in a very using lot of the spices. Liquid food pungently that are aggravated by chili. It causes nausea, alcohol, cold drinks, and the hot. Now, the central point, very nucleus of this, the overall picture, and you can say the summary of this medicine is chilly, clumsy, unclean, and indolent patient, aggravated by cold air and a draft of the air, homesickness, is important, melancholia, envy, aversion to the change in their daily routine, and then pain in the distant part of during cough, and burning, a smarting pain not ameliorated by heat, act, beginning to move and continued motions and rain. So capsicum annum is considered as one of the most commercial spices crop and widely used universal spices named as a wonder spices. It is among all the spices that we are using in the kitchen. Without the chili, your spices, your food will not be completed. So different varieties and cultivated for varied use like pickles, vegetables, spices, and condiments. The remarkable spread of the chili, a frequent chapter in the history of globalization. So remedy belongs to the Solanaceae family, and the security desire is important for this, and if they are offended easily, and it is in the Metamedica pura, and repungence and crossness, very irritable type of the person they are. So we are coming to the end with a big note, a little bit of this and a bit of that makes the spices of the life. We don't, if you go, if the life is having, you are having every day the joy, happy, you will start, forget about that bit, and you will feel that this is boredom, I want something change. So this change is very important, and this is good message for us. Hi, but my color is different from you, but my taste is same with you. So thank you very much for your listening. If you have any questions, you can ask me on my email ID, ri3@gmail.com, or WhatsApp number on 9431020622, and you can listen me on the my YouTube channel, that is Dr. Mridul Kumar Sahni, and still present today also this lecture is also presented on the YouTube. So thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, you can write me or you can talk to me. So with this we have come to the end, and we are just ending this seminar and wait for the next Thursday again. We will be back here on Thursday at 3 p.m. and with new subjects, new topics, so that to enlighten you and keep you awake for the learning. The learning is the most important part for the life. Life without learning is called no life. It is the stagnation of the life. Life becomes dull. So with this, goodbye, and I take leave from you all. Thank you very much.